Hi guys, it's Amanda. It is the 24th of July 2018 and we're going to get ready for this lunar eclipse in Aquarius on Friday the 27th together. So I'm actually going to set the energy with you rather than do it off camera, because I don't know about you, but I feel like I need to build up to this one. Thank you so much for all your birthday wishes yesterday. I was overwhelmed by your love. Thank you so much. Amazing. Do you like my roses? My dad got me these. And I'm going to show you a picture of my dad, because I often talk about my mum, but actually I've got a lot of my dad in me. I get my work drive from my dad, and he's quite an intelligent guy. There's my dad. He's, I think he's 75, and he looks great, I think. That photograph was taken yesterday. He was on the phone to me, talking to me at that moment. And yeah, these flowers, I opened them and I just thought they smell amazing, but they just feel like an old English garden bunch of flowers. And I mean that in a beautiful way. The shades of them are so stunning. It's this really pale violet rose and peach, and then there's freesias, because his mum loved freesias, so he always sends me freesias. Yeah, so that was nice. Thought I'd share my dad's flowers with you and honour my dad as well, because I owe him a lot. So I'm going to set the energy for us and we're going to do it together. So let me light my incense. We're going to get everything going here in this video. I haven't watched a huge amount of videos on the upcoming eclipse, just because I haven't had time actually, but I've got the gist of it. I've watched a little bit here and there, and there seems to be a lot of, a bit of fear around with this one. I'm not feeling that, guys. I'm feeling excitement. So there is that thing actually, that fear and excitement are actually sort of the same energy. You just got to flip them. And I'm feeling a sense of, do you know what I'm feeling? I'm like, bring it on. Bring it on. You know, bring on the changes that are needed. I was chatting to somebody, a friend, the other day, and I see a lot of changes within my work life with other people. You know, that's what I do, hopefully. You know, I help people to move on and change. And I was saying to my friend, yeah, but I'm not seeing the changes in my own life. I'm talking here about quite deeply personal stuff, so it's not, you know, I can't really share a lot. But various situations that have been going on quite a long time. It's like, I feel like I've dodged so many bullets astrologically, you know, big moments where things were supposed to change and happen, and I've just coasted through it all. So here's another one coming up, and I'm just like, bring it on, guys, bring it on. I'm ready. I've been ready for a long time. Those words might come back to haunt me. I realise that. I'm not being flippant. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. So, you know, if you're coming onto my channel here and you're expecting the doom and gloom, I'm not going to give it to you, because actually I feel we're ready for the changes that are coming, and I think they're long overdue in our personal lives and collectively. And yeah, it may very well be a bumpy ride. I'm under no illusions about that, but she said, choking, but I'm ready for it. Personally, I'm ready for it, and I will just prove my point to you. I'm going to put these cards back into the deck. I'm going to do us a card reading, and one of the decks I want to use is the Akashic Tarot deck by Sharon Klinger and Sandra Taylor. And I pulled some cards for myself over a week ago, and I just sort of said to Metatron, okay, just give me an idea what's coming up with the eclipse for me personally. I won't show you all of them, it's a bit sort of self-indulgent, but I will just show you the gist of it. I got a lot of healing cards coming out, but I also, Archangel Raphael and Hilarion, so both the green ray, which is about expansion and growth. But these two, we've got Caught in the Ruins. So it's an image of being caught in the ruins of something that probably has had its day, being trapped. Then I've got the Lookout, okay? This is the ship on fire, okay? It's all going off. So I'm saying that because it's going off for me, it's going off for you as well. But, you know, come on, we can do this. We can do this. So I'm putting these cards back into the deck and I'm going to give them a good shuffle. And yeah, let's just have a chat about what's going on. So, as I'm sure you know, we've got this lunar eclipse in Aquarius on the 27th of July, which is Friday. Well, I've got the moon in Aquarius, so yeah, it feels as though it's going to be big. But I think it's big for everybody, to be honest. I've read people who are saying, oh no, it's particularly big for certain star signs. I think we're all going to be affected by this one in different ways. And I really do think it's a case of, it's how you view change, how you view transformation. Nothing ever dies, guys. It just transforms. Any endings in life are always about trying to bring something new in. And it's a funny analogy, but I'm going to say it to you because we've had this hottest, driest summer and the grass is completely brown and like straw, which I mentioned last time. And I was reading something in the paper and it was talking about how amazing grass is, okay? And how it has this ability to basically go into, what do they call it? It's not self-preservation mode. It's got a special name, but it goes effectively into self-preservation mode when it is completely brown. It looks dead, basically. It looks completely and utterly dead. But apparently it's one of the most resilient plants on this planet. And it can survive fire, it can survive severe drought, it can survive flood, it can survive basically virtually anything that the elements throw at it. It will always come back. And my brother lives up in Yorkshire, and around Harrogate, where I grew up, there is this piece of land called the Stray. And it's common land, basically, beautiful grass area all around the town. And I said to Paul the other day, I said, what's the Stray looking like in this weather? And he said, yeah, it's completely, you know, it just looks dead, it's brown. He said, what was amazing, they had a thunderstorm a couple of nights ago, and he said it came back within hours. The grass just sprung back into green lushness. And I think I think we need to be thinking about the metaphor of that, if metaphor is the right word. How we have the ability to bounce back. We have the ability to be much more resilient than we think we are. So much fear comes from the fear of change. I was watching somebody this morning, another spiritual teacher, and there was a lot of, and I really like this person, but they were caught up in a lot of fear about, you know, what might be happening over the next year or whatever. And I thought, no, come on, you can do this. Of course you can do it. We all fall into the trap of fear, but I honestly, my years of living on this earth, one of the main things that I have learned is that the fear of change is always, always worse than when it actually happens. And so I think that's my motto going into this Friday's lunar eclipse. The other thing I'm noticing in my life is that whenever there seem to be these big things that are happening, I don't consciously do it, but it's as though my higher self immerses me in very normal 3D, not 3D, earthly activities. So what was the last thing that we were going on about? Not we were going on about, but there was something, was it the solstice? I think it was the solstice, and I talked about how the fact I wanted to be in the crop circle. Do you remember? And I wanted to be meditating and opening up, and I can't remember what I was doing, but I was somewhere completely, you know, not like that at all. Immersed very much in just head down, get on with it, to the grindstone type thing. And this Friday, when it's all kicking off in the skies, we are driving down to Devon for a little break. And yeah, I'll have my teenager in the back of the car who will be, she'll be plugged in, her earphones will be on. We'll probably be saying every 5 minutes, turn it down, Lucy. You know, the other one might be feeling a bit travel sick. Are we nearly there yet? It'll be anyone that's gone on a family holiday, you know what it's like. It's just, you know, it's great, but it's not going to be, I'm not going to have the opportunity to sit under the moon and pontificate much. all about? What it's about is that life goes on. Life goes on through all the big portals. Yeah, it does, Bella. Right. Dogs still need to be walked. Children still need to be entertained. People still need to go to work. Should we pull some cards? Now, as I say, actually it's interesting, I've got two decks, but I've got the Akashic Record, the Akashic Tarot deck, and I've got this other deck that I got for my birthday. So I know haven't pulled any cards yet, but I need to get into the energy of this, okay? So you're gonna have to bear with me. I've got this was bought for me. Marina bought me this, Marina and Sammy, the Cathar Tarot. So those of you that know anything about the Cathars, we go back to the Middle Ages in France, and they were alchemists, and I mean there's a lot that we could say about the Cathars, but I just felt I wanted to bring this deck in today. So I'm going to use both. Ooh, which one? I'm going to go for the Cathar deck first. So the Cathar deck is by John Matthews and Will Kinghan. Let's see, Archangel Metatron. Let's have some guidance, please, for this lunar eclipse coming up in Aquarius. Let's take a nice deep breath in together, everyone. And out. Let's just recenter ourselves, breathing in and breathing out. Three cards. And take them from the top of the deck. The Three of Shields, the Knight of Swords, the Squire of Swords, and on the bottom of the deck, what they call the World of Truth. I'll show you the cards in a moment. I just need to tune into them myself, and I probably will have to refer to the book. The first one I'm going to go to is what is obviously a major arcana, and it's the World of Truth. Now it looks like it's 17. Let me just double check what 17 is. Oh, no, it's not that. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's the Star card. Oh, that's rather nice. Thought it was the moon, but it's not. It's the Star card. Okay, let me put it up to the camera so you can have a look at this. Okay, and before I read what the message is, I'm going to tune into it. So we've got a lady bathing in water. Got the sun overhead, trees, birds. We've got the Star card. Okay, this won't be the message in the book because it's my interpretation. She reminds me of myself or anybody else. I did this yesterday. I went into the sea, okay? I went into the sea, and the sea is a lot warmer than it usually is here, because we've had all this lovely weather, but it's still cold. There's still that moment when you're like, oh my God, I've got to put my shoulders into the water. And I'm like, I'll do it in a minute. I'll do it in a minute. And then eventually you do it, and it's like, you're just like, it takes your breath away. It's so freezing cold. And then actually you get in and you think, actually, this is quite lovely. And here she is. She is not even up to her waist in water, okay? She's sort of up to her hips in water. And she's got a slightly startled expression, you know? It's like, oh my gosh. And over her head is I'm going to call it a dove, okay? It's a white bird, but to me it's a dove. So it feels like it's linked into peace. And do you know what I almost feel? It's like the water represents being in life. She is in up to her hips, but we are being encouraged to submerge, actually, into the waters of life. And we're going to have to start learning how to swim. Now, I'm struck by the water here. Feels like it's on a bit of a slope, actually. The water feels as though she's standing in a current and it's flowing downward. It doesn't look choppy, but equally, it doesn't look particularly peaceful either. Can you see what I'm referring to? If you look at that water, imagine yourself in it. Particularly imagine maybe if you're not a strong swimmer, okay? And you can see that there is definitely a current here. And this current is moving on, okay? It's not stagnant, it's moving on, and it's moving probably to the big wide ocean, okay? The big wide ocean, and she's there sort of like, oh, okay, I'm sort of okay up to my hips, but I'm not sure I want to go any deeper. I'm not sure I want to swim. How safe is this? But this is actually a very fortuitous card because it's the Star. And the Star card is the one that says, you can have what you wish for. But, and it is a big but, you're going to have to go in deeper than that. You're not going to get your wishes by tiptoeing into the waters. You're going to get your wishes by diving in. And the dove is overhead just saying, yeah, you can do that. That's my interpretation of that card. And let's see the other two cards that are with it. And don't forget, these were pulled before that one. So these explain why she, you, I are in this sort of slightly startled state where we know we're going to be forced to dive in. But it's like, is it safe? And I feel like these two cards that precede it are the ones that help us understand this state of, I'm actually hearing the word stress, okay? This state of stress, mental stress, physical stress, doubt, uncertainty. I'm struck by both of the cards have leading figures who are relatively peaceful. This guy's quite peaceful. This guy's quite peaceful. But on each of the cards, there are these other figures that are huddled, that are looking worried. There are three children in the background here who are just like hiding. You know, it's like, I'm not sure it's even safe to come out and play. This card, we've got three other guys. I mean, they're not looking happy, are they? Look at them. They're not looking happy people. This guy is. I'm also struck by the fact that this guy's in full armour. He's suited up. He's suited and booted. He's ready for what is coming with this eclipse. He's ready for the changes. He's got his armour on. He's got the suit of, oh, what's that expression? No, not an expression. It's something from the Bible about the suit and armour of God. Let me just get it quickly, guys, because it's important. Some of you will know this. It's called the armour of God. And the point is that we probably need to make sure that we have our protection around us. There we go. The armour of God is made up of 6 items, okay? The belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of the gospel, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. They sound quite old-fashioned words. There are probably maybe a slightly more modern interpretation of that. And it says here, this is from the Old Testament, put on the whole armour of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So, okay, it's not devil in terms of the horned, pointed, you know, being that's going to do anything terrible. Although there is a bit of temptation around at the moment. We'll come to that in a moment. Shall I just write that down so I don't forget? Temptation. There is a bit of temptation around. I'm just really struck by both of these cards. As I say, they're suited and booted. Okay, that's the modern way to put it. He's got his armour on. This guy is being given a sword here. Okay, he's being given a sword by this one. Okay, so it's almost as though What strikes me is it feels as though there's an awful lot of support around us to help us dive in. We've got the bird, the peace, beautiful peace, the dove. We've got the swords, which are to do with fighting, but fighting for truth and love. And they're only given to the person who actually understands how to properly use them. They're not given to somebody who's going to use them to hurt another. They're there as protection. Let's pull another 3 cards. Interesting. Let's pull 3 more cards, and I'm going to put them underneath the other 3, and we'll see what we get. So I'll read them in pairs, if that makes sense. So what goes with these 3 then? Metatron. And it is Metatron I'm calling in for this video. This is the Tree of Life spray that I'm spraying, okay? So the Tree of Life, Metatron sits at the top of the Tree of Life, Sandalphon sits at the bottom. And when you look at the Tree of Life, you understand that every experience that you have in this incarnation is leading you somewhere. You're either, you know, you're learning something, you're integrating something, you are experiencing something on one of these Seratoph, okay? And we're all going to be in completely different places right now. What I'm being told is that after the lunar eclipse, we all move off our perch, okay? So if you imagine the tree as a tree, and you're on a branch of the tree, you're on one of these different Seratoph. Post the lunar eclipse, you are going to be on a pathway. Can you see all the different lines, all the different pathways that connect them? You're going to be on a different pathway. You're going to be moving towards something else. Now, the important thing with the Tree of Life as well is that it doesn't, you don't have to do it in the same way as everybody else. It isn't that everybody's here and everyone's going to be moving to there. There's going to be people moving all around this tree in all sorts of different directions. Left, right, back, front, up, down. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which way you navigate the tree. But we will be moving. We will be shifting. Before I pull the 3 cards, let me just spray this again. Let's just feel for a message on the Tree of Life. The tree is going to be shaken to its roots. Okay, I'm hearing that. What does that mean? The tree is going to be shaken to its roots. Some parts of the tree are rotten, guys. This is collective, could also be personal. And a massive pruning. Take the analogy of the tree. A massive pruning is needed to preserve ongoing, I was going to say life, it's not quite the word I need. Ongoing, I'm wanting to say wealth, health and abundance for all, because I'm seeing this very much as both personal and collective. I'm hearing that parts of the tree are rotten, parts of the roots are compromised. The tree, for some people, needs to actually be uprooted and planted in completely fresh soil. For others of you, it's a case of pruning. For some people, it's about blooming. Sounds like I'm writing poetry here. Okay, I'm being serious. Think of yourself as the tree. What Metatron is showing me is as we go through the lunar eclipse, some people are going to be pruned. Some people are going to be literally, the roots literally need to be uprooted and put somewhere fresh, which is sustaining. For some people, actually, this is a time of karmic reward. There is a lot of beauty that's going to be coming back. Don't forget, the moon is all about reflection. So it's very much links into what we've done in the past as well. So anything that we haven't been necessarily looking at, wanting to prune from our lives, wanting to deal with, the Master Gardener comes in, is what I'm hearing, okay, and does it for you. But equally, if you've been pretty much taking care of what you know, and I'm talking about deep stuff here, this isn't just the surface stuff. You know, things that, you know, you've been brave enough maybe to look at things and deal with things, then you're going to get your roses blooming. What else? Tree of Life. I'm hearing oak as a remedy for these times that we live in. Now, oak is a essence, and I'm going to look at the meaning, because I know when Metatron gives me something like that, there's always a reason. So the oak, I've probably got some, you know, the oak essence I'm going to the Australian bushflower remedies, guys, okay, because I like them, actually. I know there's lots of other ones around the world, but that's the one I'm called to talk about here. Come on, this is to do with the Divine Feminine. Sorry, my camera's gone out of focus. This is to do with the Divine Feminine. Oak is an essence which is very beneficial in overcoming imbalances, in bringing about a sense of well-being in females. It's to do with female imbalance. Oak is to do with female imbalance, and it helps to correct that. It helps to make us more emotionally open to conceive as well. And take this away from, you know, anybody that's trying to get pregnant. This is about the world trying to get pregnant with the new energy. What is the new energy? It's the Divine Feminine. The roots of the tree, which are decayed, toxic, hurting the tree, are the old male patriarchal stuff. I'm actually seeing, you know, trees when they get ivy surrounding them, you know, and it's like the ivy actually like strangles the lifeblood out of the tree, and unless you cut the ivy off the tree, it will kill the tree. Well, that's sort of what I'm feeling here. This is all an analogy that Metatron's giving us, but this lunar eclipse is about shaking free. You know, we need to be shaking free from these old male paradigms that have kept us so locked in for thousands and thousands of years. Let's bring in Mary Magdalene here. Hold on. I was going to have to bring her in at some point. So this is the Mary Magdalene energy, which feels as though it goes very nicely with, come on camera, behave, there we go, with the Tree of Life, pink and blue, male and female. Okay, so Mary, lunar eclipse in Aquarius. Let's go a stage further. Yeah, to get these blooms, sometimes you have to, as a gardener, she's saying, take things right back so that they can bloom again another year. It's happened in our garden. I had a lemon tree that died. Well, I thought it was dead. I was going to throw it in the bin, to be perfectly honest with you. And I thought, I will just cut it right back. And I literally cut it back. It was virtually, it looked like a stalk in the pot. I'm not a great gardener. And I thought, right, you really have killed it now. Forgot all about it. Went back to it a couple of months later. It's amazing. It's just come back. Beautiful green lush leaves. But it's like the analogy of the grass I gave you at the start. Sometimes we have to almost go through like a near-death experience. It can feel like a near-death experience. That's why everyone's panicking and in fear mode. It's like, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to let go of my old roots, even though they're all diseased and toxic and I know they're not doing me any good. I want to hold on to it. You're not going to be able to. How it happens is going to be different for everybody, and it's not going to happen necessarily on Friday the 27th. The eclipse is bringing in the energy of renewal, okay? So let's have 3 more cards. We've got the Two of Wisdom that's just flown out. What an interesting card that is. Wow. Let me just show you the picture. Can you see that? This is somebody, remember this is about wisdoms, and it's somebody who is literally chained. Here he is, he's got his hands tied and he's not listening. The guy here with the wisdom, with the book, okay? But this is almost, to me, this feels like God, okay? This is God, this is source, this is divine wisdom, reading from the book. The book isn't the Bible, it's not, you know, any of the old books. This is divine wisdom, okay? And this guy's completely and utterly disinterested. He's actually had to be dragged, screaming and shouting, to listen. And he's still not listening. My goodness. How powerful is that? To me, that's what a lot of what's going on in the world. I would almost say what's going wrong in the world. Here we've got somebody who's completely apathetic, completely like, yeah, I don't really want to know. Sounds too much like hard work to look at my stuff. Yeah, no, I'll just carry on as I am. Thanks very much. But there's such patience here in this guy. This guy's God, and the angels and Metatron and all of our guides. And I tell you what, that guide, let's call it Metatron, he's shown up for duty. Even though this guy's not listening half the time. What goes with that? Oh, and it goes underneath the card with the children that are frightened and that are just huddled in a corner and, like, you know, stress, panic, confusion, you know, I don't know, it's not a good energy at all. So it's almost like not listening to your higher self, not connecting into the angels, whatever it is that, you know, is your thing, that brings you peace, brings you solace. It's not leading you anywhere. This is hugely collective. It's what's going on in a lot of the world. What's the next card? Oh, the other thing I want to say before I pull the other card is that this teacher, we'll call him Metatron, can you see he's in the dark cell with this guy? And what I mean by that is that even though this guy is sort of chained up, he's done it to himself, you know, God hasn't chained him up, he's done it to himself. He's there reluctantly listening. He's also there reluctantly being, in, you know, with the light coming in. The guide's shown up, the guide is patient, the guide is loving, and the guide is there with this person in their darkest moments, in the cell with them. The guide isn't just the guide, whether it's Metatron, whoever, they're not just there in the bright sparkly moments where we're all sitting, you know, cross-legged round a campfire meditating. No, and we're in kinship with each other and everything's great and beautiful. No, the guide is right there with this person who's just like 90% of him doesn't want to be there, doesn't want to do the work, doesn't want to look any deeper, doesn't want to scratch the surface, isn't interested in the divine feminine, anything like that. 10% of them are. Because that's true of society as a whole. People are waking up, but they're waking up slowly. What goes with it? Let's have 2 more cards. Let's have some water. I keep feeling a little bit dizzy today. I think it's the it's heat, but I will just say to anybody that maybe has blood pressure problems, just be careful, don't overdo it. Okay, 2 more. Lunar Eclipse in Aquarius, please, Metatron. What is the other message? The other 2 cards here. Okay, let's go for that. The 6 of Shields. And the Last Judgment. No, I won't pull any more from that deck. Okay, 6 of Shields. Just want to look at these. Hold on. Okay. Let me just show you the card, so you can make up your own impressions of it before I say anything. Okay, Six of Shields, doorway, somebody coming through the doorway, greeting the other person. Well, that person walking through the doorway looks suspiciously like your traditional view of God to me. Can you see that? It's male and female. It's male and female. It's God walking through a doorway to a woman in white who is graciously holding out her hand. What were we just saying about the divine feminine energies? There's a child here as well. And then we've got the Last Judgment. Now the Last Judgment has come up with the Star card, okay? They've come up underneath each other. The Last Judgment is card number 20. Is that the World? Let me just double check. No, it's not the World. It's Judgment. Okay. I'm going to read the message. It's a rather beautiful message with the Last Judgment card, okay? Sorry, I can't do that actually. I need to just read the words. For most readers, the Judgment card will be seen as a call to rise, not to heaven, but to a new direction or purpose in life. Like the Death card, in most cases it does not refer to a physical state, but to an inner one. The question of judgment will be seen differently by each individual, some seeing it as a reference to a judgmental figure or organisation that has power over them, others as their own inner judge, setting out the pros and cons of the situation and requiring them to decide for themselves on the appropriate action. Judgment suggests the need for change. Just how radical the change will be will depend on the nature of the issue and the surrounding circumstances. This card often appears at a time when you find yourselves at a crossroads in your life and you need to make the appropriate decision as to which path to take based on your own judgment. Yeah, and then we've got that underneath the Star card. So it's like, well, it's not a negative card anyway. It's saying that the decisions need to be made. Changes need to come. That's what I said at the beginning. I'm feeling like, yeah, come on, bring it on. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. Let's do this. Let's pull a few cards now from another deck. Let's pull it from the Akashic Tarot. Let's see what we get with this one. Lunar Eclipse in Aquarius, Metatron. What do we need to know? He's talking about the fires around the world. Greece, sending some healing out to Greece right now. I think there's 50 dead in Greece overnight. Horrific fires. Yeah, we've got the bird's nest, and they've literally been forced out of their nest. They've been forced, people have been forced out of their homes. I'm just going to pull some cards as I'm talking to you. This extreme heat, Metatron, this extreme heat that a lot of people have got around the world, and in countries where they don't always get it. Greece is often hot, I know, but we're going pretty far up into the northern Europe where it's unusual. It's unusual. I mean, I'm going to Portugal in a few weeks' time, and normally you fly from the UK to somewhere like Portugal, and it's like walking into a different world. You know, the heat levels. It's cooler in Portugal at the moment than it is here in the UK. I don't think I've ever remembered that. I know somebody's just come back from exactly where we're going, and the sea is, well, the sea will be colder. It's the Atlantic Ocean, but you know, it's like everything is topsy-turvy. So what Metatron is going on with this heat? And I'm using the fire elemental to help me. What is this heat all about? What's going on? the heat at this time, Metatron? What is it going on? What's going on? Okay, slightly strange. I hope I've got some scientists here who can decipher what I'm trying to say here. He's showing me a Bunsen burner. he's showing me a lab, basically. I'm going way back to my days of chemistry, which God knows how many decades ago. And I remember at school when we used to do chemistry, obviously you get your Bunsen burner, you put the heat underneath it, don't you? And the heat causes a chemical reaction in whatever is in the test tube or the, you know, whatever you're lighting. It creates something that is not possible without that source of heat. I'm basically being shown almost like a crucible. It's like a big Bunsen burner. Is crucible the right word? I'm not even sure. I've got the word crucible in my head. Cauldron. It's like a burning cauldron. Hubble, bubble, toil and trouble. It's a bit like that. Turn that off. Somebody keeps ringing me and I don't know who they are. Wish they'd just leave a message. I'm also hearing too many cooks spoil the broth. It's like symbolically, this heat energy, because fire is heat energy, it's just about, it feels like it's about meddling, it's about too many people trying to control and too many people sticking their nose in. I'm talking here at a much higher level in our world. I'm being shown like this great big cauldron, this great big crucible, and it's like everyone's putting different things into it. And the crucible represents the earth, I'm being told, okay? So it's like we're just throwing all our rubbish into it and, you know, and everyone's having their say and everyone's fighting and everyone's spoiling for a fight, including those at the top who should know better. You know, again, yeah, I am going to bring in Trump. Don't start inflaming the situation with Iran. You know, come on, not right now, not right before this lunar eclipse. It is not wise. Okay, he's just one, but there's loads of them. You know, almost take your pick, any countries around the world. Everywhere, it's all this angry energy going into the pot, and the pot's bubbling over. It is what it is. We can't pretty it up. It's reflecting us. It's reflecting what we're doing. It'll settle down. He's saying it'll settle down. It's like this big furnace energy is what I'm feeling. And the furnace then cools and I'm being shown the black ashes. The heat, the fire, it's all part of the story, guys. It's not just a good summer. This has got real depth in terms of what's going on. And it will go on longer than people expect it to go on, he's saying as well. Okay, I'm going to watch the space on that. Might do another video on Earth changes. Let's have some cards from the Akashic Tarot deck. We've got to look at our own anger. We've got to look at our own frustration. We've got to look at our own, you know, lashing out. It's you know, we are powerful manifestors now. And if we're not dealing with our stuff, it's just coming, yeah, we're the architect. Thank you, the architect. We are the architects of what is around us. These fires, everything, it's all us. We're the architects. So what are we going to build? I mean, these aren't new rules, guys. It's always been that case. It's always been that way, that what is within us is reflected externally. But these times we're in now are so much more powerful than they have ever been in terms of, you probably noticed it in your own life, what you think can become reality like that. Okay, you've got to be really careful. You've got to really watch your thoughts. You know, if you go into a downward spiral, you're going to go into a downward spiral quicker than you used to. I see that myself. I don't allow myself to do that, really. I try very hard not to, because I know how quickly I can go down if I'm not careful. But in the same way, if you can change your thinking, step into gratitude, step into whatever helps to just raise your vibration a little bit, you will be rewarded tenfold. Spirit will come in and really help you. But everything that is within us is being demonstrated externally. These fires are just another example of that. And we are the architects. What type of world are we going to build? Okay, Metatron, lunar eclipse in Aquarius. Let's stick to the point. He loves me when I sort of just give him a little bit of instruction like that. Okay, thank you, Metatron. 3 more cards, lunar eclipse in Aquarius. The King of Scrolls. The Lookout. Thought that might come out. And the Master Artisan. And then we've got the Light of the World on the bottom of the pack. And I tell you what, the Light of the World feels very similar to this card that I showed you earlier, which is the 6 of Shields, okay? Remember I said to you that I felt this doorway, it feels like it's God wanting to walk through? Well, this painting, not this painting, but the Light of the World painting that you probably are familiar with, one of Christ standing outside the door knocking with a lamp, that hung in my family home when I was growing up as a child, and this is like a modern interpretation of that. Here we've got a figure, but it's not, you know, it's not Christ, it's God. This is source energy, guys. These 2 figures that are knocking at the door, okay, our door, our world, it's not Christ, it's older than that. I'm saying God. I'm also hearing Melchizedek, who's is a very ancient energy. Metatron's saying it's almost as though the times we're in, he's giving me an analogy. Think of it this way. When you have a problem in your life, you will go to the person that you think can help you. So maybe for problems that are a bit sort of superficial, I don't know, you'll go to so-and-so. For problems that are a bit deeper, you'll maybe go, I don't know, to your parent. For something that's really quite complex, you might go to a counsellor, you might have to go to a professional. For something that's very much linked into, I don't know, life experience, you often go to a grandparent. The times we are in, who is coming to help us is God. I mean, crikey. Wasn't expecting to see that, but I think that's where we've got here. And God, source, the energy that created everything, he was the architect. He's also the Master Artisan, another of the cards that came out. Now the card of the Master Artisan is the card of somebody who is the best that they can possibly be at their craft. And what God is the best that he can be at is creation. Creation of the world. So I guess it makes sense that with the creation of the new earth, the new world, we're going to get God coming in. Wow. What does that look like? I'm going to turn to Archangel Gabriel here to help us with that. Source energy coming in. I just want to say source energy. I'm just going to move that. That's irritating me. It's making a noise. Gabriel, what's this about God's source energy coming in? God, source, can reshape the world. God Source can reshape your world. Let's just open up for 1 minute to God Source. And I'm asking you to link into your crown chakra above the top of your head. And I'm seeing this beautiful white light that literally wants to flow down. This is your link to Source, the true light. That all of the angels, all of the guides, all of the masters of all religions, of all faiths, of all beliefs, they all answer to this. My ears are both blocked up. Oh, okay. If you're feeling the same, just it's high pressure. You know when you go up a mountain and your ears are blocked and you have to blow your nose, you go like that. Okay, and then your ears unblock. It's because we've gone higher than we normally go. That's better. We're at a higher altitude than we normally are. It's like there's no words, it's just, I just want to say I am here. It's like he's reminding you I am here. He, she, let's not get into all that. God, Source, the Creator, whatever your words are for that. I am here, right now, through these times. And I'm helping to build the new. And it's like he knows, I'm saying he knows he's needed. Even this card here, look at this, the light of the world. So what we're saying, Source, knocking on the door, wanting to come in, help. Can you see the fiery furnace that's burning? The fire is bringing this energy in to help. Look at this card, the Lookout. Okay, the Lookout is the card with everything's on fire. The ship is on fire. Even though the ship is on fire, there's still somebody there looking out for us. God takes many forms is what I'm hearing. God takes many forms. And the Lookout is somebody who's watching our back. Yeah, you know, the sails are getting burnt on the ship. Some of it's on fire. But the boat's not going to go down. It'll get to shore. It'll get to where it's meant to go. Where are the words to that card? 17, the Lookout. I'm not surprised to see it at all. A man looks through binoculars from the crow's nest. Oh look, the other card we got was the bird's nest. So we've got the crow's nest. He's at the crow's nest, at the top of the ship, and we've also got the bird's nest. So a man looks through binoculars from the crow's nest of a great masted ship. A battle is being waged on the deck below him. The deck below is Earth. This card tells you to be on the lookout. There is a challenging situation, perhaps even a battle of sorts. You could experience a sudden fall or loss, but if you are aware, you can make a backup plan that will help you ride through this difficult time a little more easily. This phase may be temporary, but it's important to keep your balance. Your strength will carry you through to a better time to come. And it's saying look, oh, it's interesting. It says, wherever you've put the card, look to where the binoculars are pointing, if that makes sense, okay? So the binoculars, the card is next to the card of the architect. It says, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Become the lookout and scan the things happening in your life. Notice anything you'd like to correct. I think it's God that's the lookout, though. I really do. You know, when I was saying at the beginning about come on, bring it on, bring on the change, I wasn't being flippant. It's actually that I'm in a state of surrender. I truly am. You know, I've surrendered to it. Whatever is meant to happen in my life, whatever's meant to happen in the world. Is it going to help anybody running around adding to the headless chicken syndrome that's out there in society? No. Surrender. Do you trust your God? It's almost like, do you trust your guides? Do you trust God? Do you trust yourself? Think back to the lemon tree that I was telling you about. It always springs back. The grass always springs back. We will spring back. Hold on. Sorry about that, the doorbell went. It wasn't God, it was the DHL man. Gosh, we've got to keep our sense of humour as well. We really have. I tell you what, I'm blown away by this reading. I find it extremely comforting because, in all seriousness, to have God show up is pretty blinking awesome. Years ago, one of my friends said to me, she said, why did you go to Metatron? You know, why don't you just go straight to God? You know, why go through Metatron or any of them? And it's a fair question, but the answer has always been, well, because it's very hard to access God's source, because most of us don't have the right vibrational level to even reach that. And every day, day in, day out, you know, to be able to just tap into God in a direct way, most people can't do that, including myself. So Metatron is the bridge, you know, as a lot of the other ascended masters and teachers. So for him to show up, and it was really interesting, that pressure in my ears, it was just like, suddenly, it was like having gone up to the mountaintop. Probably a bit like Moses did, is what I'm hearing, okay? Moses received the 10 Commandments, didn't he? He had to go up the mountaintop to speak to God. And maybe there is, thank you. There is new information that wants to come through. I don't mean on Friday, I don't mean right now in this video. I'm talking about over the coming years, sooner than that, he's saying. There are new, commandments is such a very old word, and it's not like the old commandments aren't needed, because they absolutely are, and they always will be, but there's new commandments is the only word I can come up with for the 5th dimensional energy. Okay, that's for another time, he's saying. And the King of Scrolls, which is also another card that we've got here, he's waiting. Oh look, he's waiting with his scrolls, he's waiting with this new information. Outside of the gate. The gate hasn't quite yet opened, which means we're not quite yet ready to actually hear what is in these scrolls, but they're going to come through. They are going to come through. I think we'll do another video at some point. It needs to be post the eclipse, where maybe we go up the mountaintop and we ask to receive some of this information. It's not yet, but it's coming. Gosh, okay. Anything else to say? I'm drawn to the hope spray, so let's just spray the hope spray. Where there is hope, there is life. Where there is life, there is hope. Hang on to hope, guys. I'll just see if there's anything else. I'll pull one more card from each deck, but I think we're pretty much done. And then I'm quite interested to see what's just arrived in the post for me. I might actually just open it off camera and see if it's appropriate to show you, because it may very well be. I've often noticed in the past when I'm doing sessions and the door goes and it's something, you know, that's arrived for me to open, there's often a reason why I'm meant to show it or say something about it. So let's just see. We've got two energies that came up together. We've got the Queen of Keys and the Queen of Roses. So this is the two female energies. The lady with her roses, and this lady's at the top of her castle looking out, surveying the scene. Two strong women, basically. Strong feminine energy. Welcoming in the divine feminine. In fact, that feels a pretty good place to stop. I'm going to stop there. I'm just going to have a peek at my present. Am I allowed to do this? Well, of course I'm allowed to do it. Shall I just see? It's from a friend of mine. I won't name her because it might embarrass her, but... Oh, wow, hold on. Hold on, guys. Who doesn't like a birthday, by the way? Oh, it's a whole load of girly stuff. I'm going to actually open it off camera, but it's, as an example, look at this. I've got a white heart. Purity of heart. I'm going to open the rest off camera. It's really lovely. Open this as well in front of you. This one. Little pink bag. Ooh. Rose quartz. Rose petals. Dried rose petals. Wow, that's beautiful. Next to my roses. I think we've got a bit of a roses theme going on, haven't we, everyone? How amazing is that? There's a few other little things as well. Oh, yeah, rose petals. Wow, what is this? Amber incense from Morocco. Tree agate crystal. Oh, wow. How wonderful. Star anise. Star anise. Beautiful shell. Oh, tree agate. The tree. We were talking about the tree, weren't we? We were talking about the tree. Look at that lovely crystal. Green and white. Oh, thank you. You know who you are. I'll send you a message anyway. How lovely. And we've got amber as well. So maybe amber is something for us to be connecting into as well. Amber incense. So the smell of this, guys. Shall I light a bit? Just light a bit for the end of this video. Let's put a bit in here. Got a little bit of incense going already. Let's just light this. And let's light it and let's ask Metatron, the angels and Source to help guide us through these coming days, okay? And to not be in fear, to know that everything's going to be okay. Ooh, okay, I'm just getting it lit, hold on. There, we've got a bit going. Oh, it's lovely. It's very, it's perfect. I'm going to keep that going whilst the video uploads, everybody. So, much love. Let's all say it together. Bring it on. We can do this. And we will pass with flying colours as well. Just be there for each other through the coming days, and know that we've got a lot of help. We've got a lot of help. We've got God, for goodness sake. Doesn't get much better than that. So whatever happens, whatever transpires, whatever goes off in the world, because yes, there's something going off in the world. We've got the card of the lookout, the fire. We know that, but we're being reminded that we are the architects of our own life, and whatever is pruned, taken away, let go of over the coming months linked to this eclipse, the blossoms that come from the new life that then gets given the opportunity to come in is going to be amazing. Much love to all of you. Take care, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye-bye for now.